Can this gun fire without a trigger squeeze? And I don't know about you guys, but I stand behind Alec Baldwin.
Because I sure as heck ain't standing in front of him.
Hey guys, before I get into today's video, here's a shout out for this video's sponsor. When the shit hits the fan and the power goes out, one of the things you're going to need is an ultra bright flashlight and a power bank to charge your devices. This is the indoor-outdoor light bug work light. It's got a solar panel to turn sunlight into storable, usable energy, or you can charge it with a regular wall outlet. The adjustable bracket allows you to hang it, hold it in your hand, or get the perfect light angle on a table. It comes in handy for car repair, fishing, hunting, and camping. And check this out. I fully charged this thing, turned it on, and left it on the counter, and it shined for over 5 hours. Grab a couple of them for family and friends. Your link is in the description.
Now let's talk real quick about, just real quick, I just want to touch on this because people were saying, no, you can fire a weapon. A weapon can fire, you know, because Alec Baldwin was saying he didn't pull the trigger. A weapon can fire, people are saying. If you have a revolver and you got that firing pin on the primer and it's struck, it can fire. Okay? That's not the context that Alec Baldwin was talking about, that he didn't fire the weapon. He cocked the hammer and said he didn't pull the trigger. And what I'm about to show you is from the Counterfeit News Network, so take it with a grain of salt, but reportedly, and I wonder if this thing actually happened, because I'm wondering what kind of covert operation is going on here. I don't know. Like I said, everything that we know about this kind of stuff is being filtered through corporate media, so take everything with a real microscopic grain of salt. But reportedly, the kind of firearm that Baldwin had was an 1880s Colt 45 type firearm. Some people say it was like legit. Some people say it was a replica. But essentially, this is what it looked like. It was a single action revolver. Now, he says that he cocked it, but he didn't pull the trigger. I cocked it, but I didn't pull the trigger, is what he said. Let me show you from this guy who looks like they went into the future to get an older CIA asset, Anderson Pupa. But this guy's supposed to be, they rolled him out on CNN. He's supposed to have the type of weapon, the 1880s Colt 45 revolver style weapon that Baldwin supposedly had. And again, if this thing did happen and you got all these cameras all the way around on the set, I just wonder if there's video footage of this thing actually happening. But this guy right here says, see gun experts' reaction to Alec Baldwin's shooting claim. Theatrical firearms safety expert. Okay, so that's him, Steve Wolf. Let's hear what he says. I'm gonna advance ahead here, and I want to show you there's on this particular firearm, if indeed this is the one that Baldwin was using, and he claims he didn't pull the trigger, he just cocked the weapon per the direction of the person who's not with us anymore. And that's, it's almost like Alec Baldwin was just flapping his gums, just kept talking and kept talking. It was everybody and everything's fault but Alec Baldwin. It wasn't my fault. I was supposed to check the weapon. But watch this. Listen to the clicks.
And this is one of the big headlines from this interview. Alec Baldwin made the claim that he never pulled the trigger, that what he did was he pulled the hammer back and then released it. Explain to us
exactly what happened.
Okay, explain to me what he's claiming and how plausible that is.
Okay, so not plausible. On a single action...
Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is a single action, not a double action revolver. It's supposed to be an 1880s Colt 45 style. It's supposed to be the same kind of gun as this right here. They do look very similar. Are the characteristics the same? I don't know. But here's what we got.
Revolver, when you pull the hammer back, which is an intentional act, click.
Okay, did you hear that first click? I'm going to play this back in its entirety. But did you see? Look, he calls this a 1 millimeter pullback or something like that. But 1 millimeter? If this is the kind of gun Baldwin used, And if he cocked the hammer like he said he did, there's 3 possible clicks that could have taken place. Click 1, 2, and then 3, 4. But look, he doesn't pull that hammer back very far till he encounters the first click. Okay, I'm going to play this in its entirety.
Okay, so not plausible. On a single action revolver, when you pull the hammer back, which is an intentional act, click, 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 click. Now the hammer is set. When you pull the hammer back and let go, as you can see, I'm not holding this, the hammer doesn't go anywhere. When you press the trigger, which is, I'm going to do it with this finger so you can see what a minute act that is. It takes very little to press the trigger there. So option 1, he pressed the trigger, but it was such a minor press that he wasn't aware that he had, ordered that signal from his brain. Or option B, he's holding the gun with the trigger depressed. Now, on this gun, it doesn't matter which order you go in. You can either cock the gun and you can fire it with the trigger, or you can press the trigger and then cock the gun. And if you release it at this point, it falls and the gun fires. So if, as he is cross-drawing, his finger is on the trigger, which he may have interpreted as just resting on the trigger, but with a 1 millimeter pull, that would be sufficient. Now he pulls the hammer back and then releases it. He doesn't have to press the trigger again if he's already got pressure on it in order for the gun to fire. And I think that's really a key point in this matter.
Now the only other option it could be, if Baldwin's telling the truth, I don't believe that guy at all. He's an actor. But if it's true what he says, that he didn't pull the trigger, then the only other option, I'll show you when he starts pulling the hammer back, I'll show you where that's the only other option. Watch.
On a single action revolver, when you pull the hammer back.
Okay, watch. Which is right there before the click. Watch. I'm going to try to play it one more time and hit the pause right before the click. Okay, so this right here is before the click. So the only other option, other than the 2 options he gave, is that the hammer never engaged the first click. Wait, there's another option. It could be that this firearm that they had doesn't have this characteristic of the 4-click mechanism, whatever you call. I'm not a firearms expert. I'm just trying to surmise here. I don't know exactly what's going on. The mechanism could have been worn out. It could have different characteristics. It could have only had, some people say that some of those ones you pull back, you got to pull it back halfway before the first click or whatever. So I guess there are 2 other options. But if this is the style and replica of the gun that he had, it doesn't look good for Alec Baldwin. I can't even imagine his legal counsel saying, yeah, sure, go on always broadcasting crap. George Stephanopoulos is a great guy. Just go ahead and flap your gums about pretty much anything. I can't imagine anybody who's going to defend that guy saying anything but stay home and keep your mouth shut.
Intentional act, click, 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 click. Now the hammer is set. When you pull the hammer back,
I bet you anything, if this goes to court, this is another one of those things that's not going to be publicized and televised like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. So what do you guys think? I'm not a firearms expert. I don't know. All I know is what I've been told, and for all I know, everything that I've been told about everything that we're seeing right now is a complete lie. But all you firearms experts out there, what do you think? And I know it's going to be hard to answer this question because we don't know exactly. I mean, Newsweek says it's this kind of gun right here. Alec Baldwin speaking to reporters after the Rush shooting, and stock photo of a Colt 45. This is just a stock photo. This isn't even the gun that he used. And even if you had a picture of the gun that they used, we don't know what the mechanism was on the hammering system. Whatever is going on here, if they're trying to throw Baldwin under the bus for something, maybe he stepped out of line for something. I don't know whether this lady is, has perished or not. I don't know, but I do know one thing. I see them completely using this story again as propaganda projection. We got to understand what propaganda projection is and how powerful it is. And what I mean by that is, well, if he says that he did not pull the trigger, everybody who has no clue about how the characteristic of any firearm, whether it's a single action, double action revolver, semi-automatic, fully automatic, handgun, long rifle or whatever, doesn't matter what their level of experience is, all they're going to hear is, you mean you can fire a weapon without pulling the trigger? This is going to get a whole bunch of people freaked out about handguns. And then add insult to injury, it's like, man, they had the Screen Actors Guild policy. They had local policies and laws and order, gun control laws and all this kind of stuff. They had all these safeguards on the set, and all that stuff failed, and a person still died because the firearm that nobody pulled the trigger on ended somebody's life. The firearm did that. I can totally see that happening. Would not put it past them. As a matter of fact, they're starting to say stuff just like that. And like Bill Nelson said, that congressman or senator from Florida during that clown hall meeting at the Counterfeit News Network back in, 2014? No, what was it? What year was it? 2017? He said, the gun is what is going to do the killing. This isn't rare. It's not rare for a political parasite or even a law enforcer or some kind of teacher or some kind of authority or a health official to say exactly these words. They really want to instill the message in the mind. They want to plant that seed in the minds of the unthinking masses that it's the gun that's the problem. The villain here is the gun. Alec Baldwin didn't even pull the trigger and somebody's life ended.
When you get right down to it, the gun is what is going to do the killing.
And the lemmings respond by what? Boo, that's not even true. Inanimate objects don't do the killing. No, because that would be a sensitized society. That would be a mentally empowered society. Instead, here's the kind of reaction you get to an insane statement like that. Some memes just say it all. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. No, that's exactly wrong. You're heading in the wrong direction when you follow the crowd.
Hey guys, we know with the way things have been going, it can get really interesting really quick. So make sure you and your family have a long-term storable food supply. Support the channel and get $50 off with my link in the description while you still can.